Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I want to try something new and talk about like a minimalism check-in. Talk about the different areas that I want minimalism to have a positive impact on my life and reevaluate where I'm at in these areas. I've been practicing minimalism for 5 years now and I thought it might be time to think about what minimalism had brought to me and how happy I'm actually in these different areas of my life that I hoped and still hope that minimalism would make a positive difference for me. So of course there could be additional or different areas in your life where you think minimalism would add value to you, or there could be less areas, or you would only use minimalism for one of these areas. So I hope it can be helpful for you. Maybe you can evaluate your own situation and see where you're at, what you want to change and what you're very happy with at the moment. So I think let's get started, and I'm very excited for this one because I think it's a bit of a different video, and I'm also excited to look back on that in a few years maybe to see where I was at and how happy and how I thought about the situation I was in. So as the first category or area in my life, I chose a very obvious one, and that is belongings. Like, what do I own? How has minimalism changed that? And am I happy with where I'm at the moment? So for once we have physical belongings, and also I put into this category digital belongings. And I do have to say overall, I'm very happy. I've been decluttering on and off for these past 5 years, and I've pared down my belongings to a huge amount. I'll link you a video up here where I talk about defining my minimalist lifestyle as extreme or not extreme, and you can of course make your own definition. There you can see how much I own personally. There are also other videos where I show everything I own on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in that, check them out. So I have to say I'm pretty happy with that. I am also happy with how I decluttered. Like, I haven't regretted anything. I did not need to rebuy something really because I missed it. I also decluttered a lot of my sentimental items, and I haven't regretted that either. I do have to say, I would give it a 9 out of 10, I think. And the only thing that I'm not entirely happy with is my digital belongings. Like, sometimes I get behind on emails and photos. I need to sort through and delete the ones that I don't want to use in the future again. So that is something that I always have to catch up again, because there's more and more piling up and I do not really get around to doing it. And with physical belongings, the only thing that I'm not entirely happy with is that I sometimes do not manage to get things that I decluttered out of my house. Now there we have two reasons. I don't have a car, which makes it a bit more difficult, and also the current situation we're in. A lot of thrift stores are not open, or a lot of places where I would sell or bring or give my items to do not accept items at the moment. So we do have quite a pile of things waiting at our apartments to be brought somewhere where they can be used again. And so that does not make me super happy, because it's sitting here and it needs to be done. But I don't think that I'm to blame too much for this. And so I do have to say I'm pretty happy with that area. Moving on to my next area is my time management, or just in general how I spend my time, how I'm using the resource of time in my life now versus before I started minimalism, or also just how happy I am with my time management and using of time right now. So again, here I have to say I'm pretty happy at the moment, and that has a few different reasons. One huge reason is I'm done studying, which opens up so much time and energy for me, because I did not like studying too much towards the end especially, and so there was a huge source of stress and a huge time frame that was taken up by studying and going to classes and doing things like that. So now I just actually have more time, which makes me happy, which is really, really amazing just to experience. I'm also happy with how I'm working for the first time in my life, because I really love my work, which is this YouTube channel and my personal brand in general. You can also check out my Instagram. It's always linked down below if you want to. And so I love my work life at the moment. I think I could get a bit more efficient in the time I'm actually working. And the other thing that I'm not entirely happy with is that I sometimes don't allow myself to actually take free time. Like, I always feel like I'm thinking about my YouTube channel, I'm thinking about new video ideas, I'm worrying about things, I'm trying to do things in the background, where I would also like to sometimes just take a weekend off. But overall, I would again say it's 9 out of 10 or maybe 8 out of 10, because sometimes, yeah, I feel like I haven't managed the balance that I want to achieve in the future. But in general, I'm pretty happy with how I spent my time. And let's move on to the next category. How happy am I with my consumption habits, with how I consume? And by consuming, I mean buying new things, and I also mean consuming media and things like that. So with my buying habits, I'm not unhappy, but I would say it's maybe a 7 out of 10, so it's not perfect. And I committed to doing a low buy this year. I link you the video up here where I talk about my rules and how I'm attempting to do it. And I hope this will help with with the things I'm not super happy with when it comes to my buying habits. Now, I do buy only sustainable things, mostly secondhand, and not too much in general, I think. But what I don't particularly like about that is that I'm still changing too many things. I still get this urge from time to time that I want something new, that I need something new, that I want to change things. And that is totally fine, of course. But I think it's still a bit too much. Like, it is maybe also not because I actually want to change something or need to change something, but if I'm completely honest with myself, sometimes that buying new things or looking for new things, wanting to change something, has more to do with like a certain restlessness, with a certain urge or something I want to achieve with that is not actually possessions, but that I have other things I would need to work through, or that there are other things that I'm not completely content with, but then I'm moving to buying new things, which is not really the solution to the actual problem. But that, I think, is something that is very hard to uncover sometimes, and we'll talk about that in the next category as well. So that is something that I'm not super happy with my buying habits when it comes to actual products, but I hope that my low buy will really help with that, because I only allow myself to buy one thing per month. For my household, it's not the same, but we do talk about what we buy for our household. So there I have my boyfriend on board as well, and we don't buy too many things, and it's not just me making this decision. So I decided to do the low buy just for my personal belongings. When it comes to media consumption, I am in between two things. Like, on one hand, I want to allow myself to relax, to watch YouTube videos. That's the main thing that I do consume. I also spend pretty much an hour a day on Instagram, which is I guess not very much time, but it's still more time than I would like to spend on Instagram. So on one hand, it's inspiration. I love to be there. There are no bad feelings. I don't get FOMO or upset about my own life, or there's no real negative impact that I can see from spending this time online. And it's also part of my work, of course. So I can't really take these two things completely apart, like my free time and my work, when it comes to spending time consuming media and being on social media, being on YouTube. But on the other hand, I think I do maybe spend too much time consuming media that I could spend creating something, actually looking after myself, doing yoga or meditating, or doing other things that would be good for me or even better for me. So I think I do want to allow myself to do these things as long as they're fun and as long as I don't see any negative impacts. But on the other hand, if they take up too much time of my day, then I'd rather spend that time doing something more valuable to me, not even something super productive necessarily, but something that gives me even more. So to conclude what I want to change, or where I'm at in this category, I do want to maybe consume a bit less of YouTube videos and being on Instagram and things like that. I want to read more, actually, and I talked about that in my slow living video that I'm gonna link you up here. Things that I want to invite into my life to live a slower and more content life, that a direction that I've been going into recently, for the past 2 years maybe, but now even more than ever. And reading more is one of the things that I want to do, and that is also consuming, but I think it's consuming in a different way. But I'm going more in depth with that in the video. I'll link you up here. So these are the things that I want to change. My low buy will maybe change the physical possessions part of it, or the buying part of it in general, and the other consumption part, the media consumption. I don't want to give myself strict rules, but that's just how I'm feeling about it at the moment. Then let's move on into the next category, which I think is a very, very important one, and that is mindset. And I have to say that is the category where I struggled most with all the time and still do. And maybe that is because it's so hard to get a grasp at, it's so hard to define, it's so hard to like change something, because you cannot just declutter something out of your life and then it's gone, and you would have to spend money buying it again to get it into your life. No, with mindsets and with like your whole like mental health mindset thing, it's more like you just pretty much do not have the same amount of control over these things. And it is a lot of work to getting to know myself better, to really understanding why I'm thinking certain things, how I'm feeling, and why I'm feeling these things, and how I want to change it, or if I even want to change it at all. So the mindset or like feeling overall happiness struggle I had for my entire life, as long as I can remember, is that I'm sometimes restless, as I said in the category before. Sometimes I feel like I need to change things around me, I need to rearrange my whole room, I need to go on vacation, travel, see new things, do new things, just change something outside of me. And while I love rearranging my room, like it's always so satisfying, I love going for a walk, exploring new areas of my neighborhood, I love traveling, seeing new countries, new landscapes and things like that. And I think that's all fine. I am not completely sure if this urge to change things, if this urge to like change something, being restless, being uncomfortable, or not completely satisfied with where I'm at, is actually super healthy. Now that is a very, very small problem, of course. Like that is not a huge problem at all, because I sometimes I do arrange my room without buying new things, or sometimes I do buy a few new things, or I go for a walk and explore a new area of my neighborhood. Like that's not a problem, that's a good thing, and I think I of course want to keep that. But on the other hand, I do believe that it's not necessary, or that it shouldn't be necessary to always give into that urge to change things, or that is actually a symptom for something else. That again, I should be able to maybe find peace, or be more at peace with myself without that feeling that I need to change things on the outside. Now, again, that is like not a huge problem at all. But when it comes to my mindset, or when it comes to actually feeling content and happy with my life, that is the thing that I'm sometimes struggling with. And the whole like problem of that is that it's never possible to achieve something and then be happy. And that is completely the nature of us human beings, I think. When we think, oh, as soon as I reach that milestone, I'll be happy. And then we need the new milestone and think, then we'll be happy. And then something else comes up and think, as soon as I solve this problem, then I'll be truly happy. And it will never happen. And so I think I do want to invite even more peace, be even more okay with just where I'm at the moment, without that always constant like need or a thought of, oh, I need to change something that would make me more happy if I change this or that. Other mindset things that have come up during the past few months have actually to do with working as a content creator and working in general, like that I thought I did not have, because I thought like I'm totally open to different kinds of jobs and to earning money and a work-life balance that works for everybody. But then I realized, like, I catch myself thinking these things, that I think that maybe being a content creator is not a real job, that we need to be more productive to actually earn the money, or to actually that it is actually okay that I earn money. Like I'm not earning a lot of money. I'll link you the video up here where I talk about exactly how much I earn, and in the beginning of the year it's even harder to earn money on YouTube. But I have just realized that I have some mindset things that I'm not super happy with, because I logically thinking, of course, being a content creator is a job. Like, I see how I'm spending so many hours doing these things. I'm even thinking or hoping that I can add value to you as a viewer. And if you don't know, I studied social work, and sometimes it's this like, why am I not a social worker if I studied for that? Instead, I'm just uploading random YouTube videos. How is this adding value to this world? But I think I just have to think more about that and maybe come to the conclusion that different things can add value in different ways. And maybe I'm gonna take a job as a social worker as well in the next few months. I haven't decided on that completely. And so I think for all of these things, it's of course an ongoing journey. I think overall, I'm in a much better place than I was 5 years ago. I am like more independent, happier, I know myself better, I can manage my finances, my time, my surrounding in a much easier and more satisfying way. So I want to say that minimalism in all of these categories had added immense value to my life. And I hope that it will do that in the future as well. But I only want to name it minimalism or pursue this minimalist lifestyle as long as I think it does add value to my life. So of course, I always want to say that it is a journey, it will change over time, and that's totally fine and to be expected. And I actually want it to change over time, because I think as we evolve, our lifestyle, our ideas, our feelings about ourselves and our life should also somehow change with us. And on the other hand, it's also very clear that minimalism might not be the answer for everybody. And of course, I want to make this very clear, minimalism is not here to solve all of your problems, but it can just be a tool to maybe assist or get even more like clear on what you actually want and remove some of the clutter and the distractions out of your life. So please let me know how you feel in your current situation, if you're happy with where you're at, or what the struggles are that you want to work through in the future, and if you think that minimalism can help you with that, or what other tools you use to experience positive changes in your life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. That would really help with the algorithm, which would help this channel. And if you want to see more videos, I'll link you a video and a playlist right here that you can watch right now if you want. And I also hope to see you next time. Bye!